A video has been doing the rounds over the weekend, and there's an extraordinary amount of hits actually on YouTube. 74,000 hits now on YouTube. And it is called Dublin Gardai harassing and arresting busker in Temple Bar. Now, you'll find the video if you log on to the FM104 Phone Show Facebook page. Just click like on the page and you can follow the link and watch the video for yourself. Now, for those of you who are not near a computer at this moment, as I'm sure many of you aren't, I'm going to play the audio from this video just to describe exactly what is happening in this. This was being videoed when the Gardai came over to a group of buskers in Temple Bar on Friday night. Okay, so we'll take it from there. And as you will hear from the video, it kind of gets fairly heated, okay? So the guard is basically telling the buskers they can't busk on this spot anymore, and he's asking to move them on. Sorry, the sound has gone really bad on that. Sorry, I'll have to come back to that in a second. But the guards are basically telling the lads to move on, and that they are not welcome to busk on that particular spot anymore. Now, hang on, I have the audio here. Okay. So as you can hear, the crowd that are gathered around these buskers are booing them.
No respect, guys. No respect.
It's all fuck. We're all having a good time here.
Come here, come here.
What are we having? There's no antisocial behaviour here at all, man.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing at all. You're on camera as well.
You sound like that.
Yeah, relax.
So at this stage, the guard is moving a fellow away from the rest of the crowd. One of the buskers. An elderly gentleman actually gets involved and tries to ask the guards what's going on, and he's told to move away. Now, at this stage, they're trying to arrest one of the lads. They have him on the ground, and there's still a big crowd around. And the fella actually runs down through the alleyway, through the arch, down towards the Halfpenny Bridge, and he's followed down there by the...
What's your badge number, mate? You there.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. What's you hitting him with buttons? Oh, what's you hitting him with buttons as well?
Gardai, did you hit this man?
Yeah, you fucking did. You're on YouTube. You're on YouTube.
Get out of his face. Get out of his face now.
Whose face? Whose face?
Out.
Whose face?
Whose face?
Mr.
This is a...
fucking filth, man.
Are you okay? Move back, lads. Lads, move back. Lads, move back. Lads, move back. Move back. Move back. I'm only asking it. I'm only asking if that man okay.
Yeah.
I'm only asking.
Okay, that's the audio from the video. If you get an opportunity, log on to FM104's Facebook page, facebook.com/FM104 Phone Show, and you will find the link to that video, which, as I said, has had an awful lot of hits over the weekend. Facebook.com/FM104 Phone Show is where you will find the link to the video. Now, Justin, good evening to you.
How's it going?
How are you, Justin? Now, Justin, you are one of the buskers who was told by the guards to move on. Tell me what happened on Friday night.
We're out busking as we do every week, and the guard approached us and he said about the amp. He said to knock off the amp, so we knocked off the amp, and then we kept going, and he said that was grand, and then 5 minutes later he came over and decided it wasn't. I think because he expected the crowd to disperse after the amp was knocked off, but they didn't because they were enjoying it. And
okay, so give me an idea of what sort of music you play and whatever. You busk in Temple Bar just near Meeting House Square every Saturday?
Yeah.
Every Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
And what sort of music are you doing?
It's a combination. It's a bit of everything, really. Like we diverse from the likes of Allo Black, I Need a Dollar, to All Along the Watchtower, Bob Dylan. Like it's of everything. And we just try things that people like.
Okay, and on Friday night, from what I can gather, you had a fairly big crowd gathered around you.
We did.
So people were liking what you were doing.
It seemed that way, yeah.
And a guard approached you and asked you to turn off the amp, your amplifier for your music.
Yeah.
And did you do that straight away?
Yeah, straight away, because I was in the middle of a song. I'd say that, and I nodded at him and I knocked it off. There's actually a video of that as well.
Okay, so you knocked off the amp straight away.
And continued singing, and he said, yeah, that's grand, and he walked away, and we were singing. And then 5 minutes later, he approached us then, mid-song, and cut us off.
And this is what we now see on the video.
Yeah.
Now, when the guard approached you, because there's some of it you can't hear on the audio, what exactly did he say?
He came back over and he was saying, listen, I want you to stop altogether. And I said, but the amp's off. Like, that's the rule, that's the problem you have, the amp's off. And he said, yeah, but listen, I feel there's going to be a public order incident if you move on. And I was saying, but how is that? Like, why do you feel that? Like, and he just wouldn't give me an answer. And it just 2 seconds later, then next thing I know, he had me by the throat, and it just escalated. And
is it you then that runs onto the Halfpenny Bridge?
No, I just have to amend that. That's actually that's a member of the public, not someone that was busking.
Oh, really? Oh, right, okay.
He approached the guard, because the guards were pulling on me, and he went over to the guard and said, "Guard, leave it out," and they just turned on him. I don't know.
Okay, so he was nothing to do with you?
No, he went over and tried to stop them from hitting me. Okay,
so you, were you arrested on Friday?
Yeah, I was.
And the other lads with you?
No, they weren't.
Just you?
Just me, yeah. And the other man who tried to stop us.
Okay, the fellow who ran onto the Halfpenny Bridge. Now, was there a risk, Justin, of there being a public order offence on Saturday with such a big crowd gathering around you?
I don't believe so, but I see where they're coming from, as in terms of the crowd and the numbers. I understand and respect that the number of the guards are down to a minimum, and they're trying to do what they can. And it was a big crowd, but at the same time, they're all dancing like people that's complete strangers, don't know each other, and they're all like hugging each other and dancing and singing together. Like.
Okay, so you're saying it was a good buzz, it was a good atmosphere, it was Temple Bar on a Friday night?
Yeah, everyone happy, great buzz.
Now, what is your opinion of what happened to you? Do you think that you were unfairly treated? Do you think that you showed the guards not enough respect, that you should have just said, no, okay, I'll pack it in?
Yeah, but had the guard came up and said, lads, just wrap it up there, finish this song or something, but we were mid-song and they like just stopped us, like just stopped everything and said, no. And I said, can we finish this song? No. Like, so it was just beyond me.
All right, stay there for 1 second, because on the other line I have Simon. Good evening to you, Simon.
How are you?
Now, Simon, you're actually the fella who did who recorded that video.
I made the video, yeah.
Okay, and you're one of the busking lads. What are you called as a group?
As a group, we're called the Undutchables.
The Undutchables.
That's a play on like a can of Dutch Gold, you know.
Fair enough. I was wondering where that came from. Okay, the Undutchables.
The Undutchables.
And there you were, playing away on Friday night, and Justin is told to stop. Well, you're all told to stop.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide, I better get my video camera out, or my phone or whatever?
As soon as the guard, I can't remember his number at the start of the video, who actually grabbed the mics out of our hand and threw them on the ground earlier on in the evening, he came over to the guitar player, Sean. So with that, I said, right, I'm going to take the phone out, because we have previous with them, like, you know, they're so inconsistent, and their treatment of us, it seems like they single us out, because there's amps and there's buskers all the length of up to Fitzsimons and all, and they're left alone. But we seem to be targeted all the time.
And why do you think that is?
I honestly don't know.
Is it down to the music that you're playing and the crowd that is gathering around you?
It could be the crowd that we gather, because we do tend to have a crowd between 40 and 60 people at any one time. When we're in the height of the buzz, like there's a lot of people there, and we do understand that the Garda have to be watching, and they have to make sure that there's nothing mad going on. So with the previous, I said, right, I've taken this phone out because we know what they're capable of. So.
Okay, and then the rest is as has been captured on that video. Now, a lot of people have said, Simon, that you in particular, I know you videoed it and you followed that fella onto the Halfpenny Bridge and what have you, that your attitude towards the guards was very poor.
It was, admittedly, the pits, it was, but the only reason for that was because just the continual inconsistent treatment, and on the night of the video, the way the guard came up, he asked us to turn off the amp. We turned off the amp. The crowd we all kept singing, and I think that kind of hurt him a little bit. He was saying, these aren't getting the better of me, like so. And it was just, I'm not trained to deal with crowds. I'm not trained to deal under pressure, and I was under a lot of pressure. I was stressed. I didn't know what was going on. I seen a group of men grab my friend for nothing, and I was very annoyed.
Okay, in terms of busking laws and whatever, are you within the law busking in Temple Bar on a Friday and Saturday night?
Yeah, absolutely. Up until 3 a.m.
But that doesn't include amplifiers, am I right?
No, it's a non-amplified area, but that was for a 3-month trial basis. I'm not sure now if it's in place at the minute now, but that was a trial basis up till the start of November.
Now, what also happened, which I'm interested in, is that was on Friday night. The video that we've seen is from Friday night.
Yep.
But the three of you got arrested again on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened on Saturday.
I reckon that was in relation to the video. I reckon the guard seen the video and took it as a blow to them. But we are busking away on Saturday, and we says, right, we'll make sure we are sticking to all the rules this time due to yesterday, which we did. And they knew what they were up to. Like, we also have a video of this which will not be posted on the internet, but they reversed the van down the lane and had 4 guards on either side. Like they knew, and it was practically a kidnapping. They just came up, took us, put us in the van, didn't say one word to us, just literally grabbed us, threw us in the van and got out there. I think because they were thinking, right, we can't have another situation like last night, get in and get out.
Okay, and they took you off. And were you charged with anything on Saturday?
No, nothing. I think Simon was charged, but like all of our equipment, like everything was left there. They brought the 2 lads to Irishtown Gardai station, and they brought me to Donnybrook Gardai station. They didn't charge me, released me, and told me I had to walk back, that there's nothing they could do, because all of our money was left in Temple Bar.
So all of your money and all of your gear, like your beatbox and all that, was all left in town?
Everything. And then I had to walk back. I walked back to Temple Bar just to find pieces of my guitar smashed all over the ground.
No.
Also.
So you go on, Simon, yeah.
When we were put into the van, the van was parked and didn't move for a good 10 minutes. And throughout that 10 minutes, we were pleading with the guards, can we go out and get our stuff? Can we go out and get our stuff? No. Would you please go out and get our stuff for us? That's our property, our money, everything we have. And no. And it was left.
Pretending not to hear us.
Left to the mercy of the people that were there.
And when you came back into town after being released from Donnybrook Gardai station, your guitar was smashed to bits, was it?
Yeah, there was no resemblance of anything except for pieces of my guitar all over the ground.
All your money was gone, everything?
Yeah, everything. Literally, I had to actually stay in.
Sorry, I can't hear you there, Justin.
I had to actually stay in Simon's that night because I had no money to get home. I had nothing, literally. I had nothing. Everything, like I had a bag full of stuff with my iPod, me Dr. Dre beats, everything, all gone, every bit of it.
All right, lads, I'm going to take a very quick ad break, but I'll come straight back to you after the break and we'll take some of your calls right now on 6797104. If you've just joined us, we're talking about a video that is up on YouTube for all to see, and it's had loads of hits over the weekend, but it involves basically buskers in Temple Bar on Friday night being asked to move on. And from what could be seen on the video, the Gardai getting
No respect, guard. No respect.
a little bit heavy-handed, maybe. Or maybe you think that the guards are dead right.
Come out.
Dead right to if they've decided to move these lads on, maybe you believe that the guards are right to get heavy-handed if necessary. The lines are open to you right now on 6797104. 6797104 is our telephone number.
Yeah, get your hands up!
Now, Thomas, you happened to be there the other night and you witnessed what happened.
Oh, yeah. I was in there in Temple Bar there Friday night, so I was, and according to what I seen, I didn't see the Garda doing a great lot to them, the way they're talking there, you know, man.
And well, tell me what you saw.
Well, I just seen that the Garda just asked them to politely to move, and they were just giving back cheek to the Garda and all that, you know, man.
Well, Simon, what about that? You were giving cheek back to the guards.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Where was he in the crowd when all this conspired?
Well, see, you see, that fella that...
Were you in earshot of...
Simon is the fellow who actually videoed the video, if you know what I mean. He recorded the video that's up on YouTube.
I think
we didn't commit any crime. We done nothing wrong. There's a supposed law about amplifiers being turned off in Temple Bar at 3 a.m. This happened before 3 a.m. We were warned to turn off our amp, which we did, and then the guard came back in. He wasn't satisfied with that.
Why, Thomas, do you think that if the guards asked them to move on, they should have just moved on and not even argued the point?
Well, I think basically, yeah, because I tell you the truth, at the end of it all, like, you know what I mean, they were told to move, they wouldn't move, and the guard has to do their job, you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I think they're on drugs.
Who?
Them buskers, you know, all them lads.
I'm sure they take exception to that, would you, Justin?
Oh, yeah, like, what would give you that understanding that we're on drugs, because we're out there trying to share our music, Thomas?
This is a pointless opinion. He wasn't even in earshot of what was said. I know. Saying we're on drugs. Your opinion is rendered useless.
Yeah, but the guard tells you to go, you have to go, you know, man, like, there's no waiting around.
But hang on for 1 second, Thomas. Obviously the guards have a job to do, okay? But if somebody feels that they are being unfairly treated, do you not have a right to say to the guard, Mr. Guard, I think you're unfairly treating me? I mean, are the guards always right?
Well, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, you know, man.
No, but what I'm asking is, you know, was their worst offence was that they spoke up to the guard and said, like, you know, as that new Dublin expression goes, here, leave it out.
Oh, that's right to speak up for themselves. I understand that. You know, man.
Could I also just cut in there and
say, yeah, go on, Simon, yeah.
This policy about busking laws and about the amps, no amplifier zones, all this is between musicians and the Dublin City Council.
It's a voluntary.
Nothing to do with the Garda.
It's like a gentleman's agreement type thing. It's a voluntary basis, but which we uphold, like.
Which we did uphold, and the Garda have no right to tell us anything. It's the Dublin City Council that has the right.
You see, okay, Thomas, from what you saw, the guards asked the lads to turn off their amp. They did. And there was still a big crowd. The crowd didn't dissipate at all. From what I understand, lads, there was a crowd of 50 or 60 people around you.
Averagely.
Okay. Now, Thomas, why, if they were causing no harm, do you think that the guards were right to move them on because the crowd was getting too big? Or why are you defending the guards from that point of view?
Actually, I'm not actually defending the Gardaí, and I'm not going to... They were right to do what... Well, if they come up and say they go, that's it, like, they are the law at the end of the day, you know, man?
Okay, and if a guard... In other words, what you're saying is if a guard tells you to move on, then you move on, end of story.
Oh, but there's no other story about it, like, you know, man, you'll have to move on.
The Garda are not the law, they enforce the law. They are not the law.
And in terms of the size of the crowd, like it says in the rights that we're right to assemble. You have a right to assembly. You know what I mean? Which is the crowd, and you also have a right to speech, which is in terms of singing. Like we didn't break any law.
You see, what I'm asking you, Thomas, is from what you saw on Saturday, do you think that the guards were right?
No, they weren't. Not really, but they did say move on, and they say move on. You know, I think it's all drugs, you know.
I don't know what you're on about with that. Leanne, you're on FM104. How are you, Leanne?
Hi, hello.
Grand, thanks, Leanne. Now, what did you want to say on this?
Hi, no, I just said, I was just seeing the video there, and I just think it's an absolute disgrace. The force that they used, they didn't kind of use that force on the young lads.
Now, Justin, you as a result of that video, during that video, you were arrested yourself, and you were the only one of the Busker lads arrested on Friday.
Yeah.
And what were you charged with?
I was charged with breach of the peace and resisting arrest, but if anyone who watches the video, they pull me around the corner, I put my 2 hands out to let them put the handcuffs on me, and then the other one starts pulling me backwards while the other one's pulling me forward, and the other one grabs my leg and I smack my head off the ground.
Okay, so you were eventually taken away.
Yeah.
You were arrested and charged with breach of the peace and resisting arrest.
Yeah.
And did you resist arrest?
No, you can see in the video I had my 2 hands out for them to put, and I don't know, the other guy just grabbed me from behind and he started saying stop resisting and whatnot, which I wasn't. My 2 arms were out the whole time. I had to actually forced to put my hands out to let them, like I was saying, take me, stop pulling on me. And
now, Leanne, that fella a moment ago, that man Thomas, was saying that when the guards ask you to move on, you have to move on, and that's it. Let me put that to both of you. Simon, when the guards say move on, you should move on and not argue with them.
Well, I think it all depends. If there's in this case, if the guards just come up and tell you to move on, why? Can I have a reason why? And if they can't give you a reason, or they spout some law, I don't think the guard can just tell you to move on. They don't own the streets. They're not like the principal of the school of Dublin. They can't. You know what I mean?
But if they feared, Justin, what they said to you was, we fear there might be a public order incident here. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Which obviously means that they felt that the crowd was getting too big to deal with, or something like that.
Which I understand, but if they had actually sat back and looked at the crowd and assessed the situation, the crowd were all happy, hugging each other, holding each other, like people that don't even know each other. And then the guards come along, and the next thing, it just kicked off. It was appalling. It shouldn't have happened.
Now, Leanne, I mean, that is the argument that if a guard wants to move you on or wants to, tell you to do something, you have to do what the guard says. Do you think it's as simple as that, or do you think the lads are right to, be arguing with them?
Well, they just said there that you are allowed to busk up till 3 a.m. So if you were still in that time zone, then I don't think they should be able to.
What time did that video get filmed at, Simon?
I'm not 100% sure. I have to check now, because I've heard earlier that a lot of people are saying, he was arrested at 3:05. Well, then that's it. But I'm convinced that it was before half.
Sure it was 2 o'clock or something, yeah.
I'm nearly 100% sure that it was before 2:30.
Okay, what did you video it on your phone?
I videoed it on my little brother's iPhone.
Right, it should have a date on it.
It does, but my little brother is in work now this evening.
Oh, right, okay. All right, Fiona, you're on FM104. How are you, Fiona?
Hi, Adrian.
Good, Fiona. Now, you believe that the guards are regularly heavy-handed in town?
Yeah, they're not just even with buskers, they're with everybody. I sit watching it, I see the buskers in town all the time, and even in Temple Bar. They never give them any hassle in Temple Bar. I've never seen them do it, and I'm out in the streets most nights. And they are cack-handed the way they handle certain situations. They don't have any humanity. They don't have any cop-on whatsoever. They're taught to be brutal force, basically. They're security men. They're not guards, they're security men.
Now, like I said, Simon, I have to be honest with you. I'm surprised you weren't arrested on Friday night with that video.
And I do appreciate that.
Adrian, he's lucky they didn't take the phone off him.
That's what I'm saying.
They attempted to steal my phone twice. The first time when I say the word filth towards that guard, he grabs my hand and tries to take my phone whilst pushing me away. So
Listen, Adrian, I'll tell you something happened to me one night. Sorry for interrupting.
You're all right.
You know what I do for a living, and there was a row between me and another taxi driver, and I asked the guard for help, and your man hit me, I hit him, whatever, right? The guard turned around, stood in the front of everybody and said, I'm not helping you, to state you, and walked off. So that's what's looking after us on the streets. But yet someone that's making a few bob busking, they're actually causing mayhem.
Yeah.
So you tell me that our guards are there to protect us. They are in their arse. They're basically bully boys in a security uniform. That's what they are. And that's exactly how I feel about it. And I'm sure people will get on and say I'm wrong, but I have seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Okay, but do you not accept, though, Fiona, that it's a difficult job for the guards to do, full stop?
Listen, they have no humanity. They've no cop on. there's a particular station in this city, one in particular, right? And I won't say which one it is.
Yeah, no.
One in particular, okay? And whoever or whatever looks after them, they have, basically they're like robots. They come out on the streets and they are pure and utter dickheads. Dickheads. It's only certain units now, certain units, but you'll know the unit when they're on because they are dickheads. And they go around with an attitude of an air of authority, and they have no right. They're basically civil.
But you see, other people, Fiona, will argue that they have to have that air of authority because people don't respect them.
Would you blame us? Why would we respect someone that's an asshole and has no proper way of addressing or dealing with people? They have a way of being a bully boy, but they haven't got a way of dealing with Joe Soap or the ordinary public. When there's a problem going on, they go in cock-handed and fisted with all fists ablazing. Listen, Adrian, it's not right, and I've seen it with my own two eyes on several occasions. The way it goes on. And it's a particular station, and that does it. It's a particular station in the city. And I have to be honest, I've had my few run-ins with them myself on a few occasions. It's the very same station with this guy as well. They are dickheads now, and I'm telling you now, they're dickheads.
Right, okay. 6797104 is our telephone number. By the way, I just want to make this point. We have asked for people who are supporting the Gardai to come on. The lines are absolutely jammed with people wanting to give out about the Gardai. And like I said, we will happily accept calls from people who want to back up the Gardai, who want to support the Gardai. And if you can't get through on the phones because our switch is absolutely hopping, text us 53104 and let us know that you want to support the Gardai. But for fear of people saying it's a one-sided discussion, we are desperately trying to get somebody who actually thinks the Gardai were in the right. 6797104 is our telephone number. If you haven't seen the video yet, log on to FM104's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/FM104 phone show. Facebook.com/FM104 phone show. If you haven't already seen the video, you can click like on our page and then the video is there. This is an incident which happened in Temple Bar on Friday night, and a lot of people saying that the Gardai were extremely heavy-handed. A lot of people saying, other people though, Simon, as I said to you already, believing that your attitude to the Gardai was bang out of order. You're saying you apologise for that, do you?
I certainly do apologise, but in the heat of the moment, it's just what happened. Like, you know, I'm a normal human being like everyone else, and everyone loses their cool, and I happened to lose my cool in that time. But I certainly didn't disrupt them doing their jobs. I didn't disrupt them taking their batons out in record time. I didn't disrupt either arrest. I didn't disrupt anything. I was just there.
Okay, now, in answer to your question as to what time the incident happened, I got the lads to ring that man Thomas, who was on a couple of minutes ago, to ask him, and he says it was 2:15.
That sounds very, very right to me. Because I remember when Justin was taken, we were looking at the clock and we were going, this is ridiculous. We have a good, like a little while left busking in us, like, you know, and we were a bit disappointed that we couldn't finish the night out.
Now, the law with regard to busking, it says under the code, street performers will no longer be able to, will no longer be allowed to play between 11 and 11 in most areas, except for Temple Bar, where they will be allowed to play up to 3 a.m. So if it was 2:15, well, you certainly weren't breaking that rule.
No, certainly not. And I really don't believe that's a law. I think that's the voluntary...
Yes, a voluntary code, yes.
Between the Dublin County Council and musicians and buskers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, Josephine, you're on FM104. How are you, Josephine?
I'm just listening to your programme there, and I just can't believe it. If a guard stops you, he stops you. If he asks you for your driving license, if he asks you to move on, that's his job. That is the law.
Yes, I agree.
They're not just doing it for fun. And if I haven't listened to the tape, I would be very frightened if I were two guards on that street with that mob. I really would.
And I wouldn't disagree with any of what you're saying so far. However, have you not got a right as a citizen, Josephine? And this is the question that I'm really asking.
Yes.
Have you not got a right as a citizen to say to the Gardai, look, why are you moving me on? Why?
Do you know when you say that to the Gardai, when you're in court, they will get their opportunity in court to defend themselves. No problem. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like, Justin, when the guard came back over to you, initially he said...
if a guard stopped me on the road,
yeah,
I don't say, and he asked me for my driving licence or whatever he does, I don't say to him, what do you want that for? I don't do that because that's his job. And if you were in, you see, the law is flouted, like the pubs don't close to time, nothing. You have all this violence on the streets and everything. I spoke to a girl who lived in a Dublin shop, but she wouldn't dream of walking at night. She'd have to get a taxi. But you're not safe, like.
Okay, but what I'm asking you, Josephine, is if a guard stops you, and in the case with Justin here, the guard came over to him and said, turn off the amplifier, which he duly did. Okay, so we're talking about, from what we can gather, 2:15 on Friday night or Saturday morning, as it was. And the lads turn off the amp, and 5 minutes later, comes back and says, actually, lads, finish up. Do you think the lads should have just stopped their music and got up and left?
I do, yes.
Even though, Josephine, with this code of conduct for buskers, they were doing nothing wrong. It was 2:15 in Temple Bar, and it's allowed.
But you see, you don't know why they stopped it. There could be, they might have stopped it to prevent maybe, you know, a riot or a row or you don't know the reason.
But from what I'm hearing from okay, Justin, what exactly did the guard say to you when he was telling you to stop, to finish?
There wasn't much said, really. He was just saying, I feel that there's going to be a public order incident, and I says, why is that?
Sorry, say that again, Josephine?
That's what I'm just saying to you. He said the guard said to him there might be a public order incident. I mean, you say nobody knows. We'll say the bigger picture of what might have happened.
You to the crowd, not me.
What I'm saying is nobody knows what might have happened, what might have happened a week before.
Okay, yeah, Justin. Okay, there you are. You're busking away. You've a big crowd around you. Yeah. Was there a reason? I want you to be honest with me here. Did you feel that the guards had a reason for concern that the crowd was getting a bit too big and a bit too messy?
In terms of the numbers of the guards, yeah, in terms of if anything had have kicked off, they would have been outnumbered and on staff. But the fact of it was, nothing would have kicked off. Nothing. We do this every week, and there's multiple videos on the YouTube page, on the Facebook page, every week, pictures, like the crowds of 60, 70 people, and they come, they enjoy the music, they have the crack, and they leave, and that's it. That's it. Like, there's no risk.
Yeah, go on, Simon, yeah.
Yeah, if the Garda start predicting crime and start arresting and enforcing laws over a prediction of a crime, there's no reason in that. You know, we're law-abiding citizens, and we're working within the Irish Constitution. And we're as people, we're allowed to question the Garda if we haven't broken a law. There was no law broken, so there was no reason for them Garda to ask us to stop. If they thought there was going to be a riot or anything, like, they use common sense. They might disperse the crowd before they speak to us. There's a number of ways they could have dealt with it, but the way they did, everything was peaceful, and they escalated what happened.
Okay, so you believe that there was no situation, they made a situation?
They made the situation, yeah. At 2:15.
Before a guy can arrest you for not moving on, he first must caution you by saying, I'm now cautioning you under Section 6 of the Public Order Act. If you don't move from this area, you will be arrested and charged, which you can see from the video, he didn't. Nothing. Just kicked off. Just that was it. No caution, no nothing. So it is an invalid arrest.
All right, do me a favour. Stay on the line there for 1 second, both of you, Simon and Justin. 6797104 is our telephone number. It's Adrian with FM104's phone show. And if you've just joined us, we're talking about an incident in Temple Bar on Friday night, where a group of buskers were basically told to move on by the Gardai. And when they tried to even discuss it with them, and as you can hear, the crowd that were gathered around these buskers were very unhappy that they were told to stop playing.
No respect, God. No respect.
Stephen, you're on FM104. How are you, Stephen?
Hey, how's things, Adrian? My name's Stephen. I'm from Dublin. But yeah, I've seen Justin and Sile play a lot of times. I've seen them play in venue gigs, and I've seen them play in busking. And like, when I seen the video, I was absolutely shocked. I wasn't surprised now in fairness because I've seen actions like this from members of Garda Síochána, specifically members of Garda Síochána from Pearse Street, acting in this way towards members of the public. But the thing, like the main thing for me is the fact that the three guys that were there were doing absolutely nothing wrong. They also...
Okay, but is it not the job of the Gardaí, if they have concerns about a large crowd in Temple Bar that they feel could maybe, I don't know, profiling the crowd, they think, oh, this is a bit hairy, are the guards not, is it not their job to say, lads, I'm sorry, you're going to have to move on?
No, well, it's not their job to say, sorry, you're going to have to move on. It's the guards' job to make sure that there's no public disorder on the streets of Dublin. And now I've seen Justin and Sayo many times in Dublin, and not one time have I seen them. Is there any?
Well, actually, let me ask that question of both of you. Simon, has there ever been any public disorder around where you're playing at the weekend?
Public disorder, there might be one or two lads might have a drink that they've brought out from one of the pubs, or one or two might be having a smoke or something, but certainly no serious cause for public disorder, no.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing in Temple Bar on and off?
Roughly a month, every weekend for roughly a month, maybe a month and a week or two.
Okay, Adrian, I've seen them busking, and people gather around, tourists gather, local people from Dublin. And any time I've seen there's been a really positive atmosphere when they're playing, and there's no people causing any hassle. They've played. I've seen them playing early in the day, and people stop and they watch them. I've seen them play late in the evening, and people stop and they watch them. And another thing people are overlooking, like it's a cultural activity, and it's something that should be encouraged, not discouraged and subdued. Like if tourists come over and they see what's happening, what Justin and Simon and the other guys are doing, like it's a really good cultural thing that's happening. And for some reason, like the guard can deal with this in so many different ways. Like when they came up to the guys and they asked them to stop busking with the amp because the amp was annoyed with you, which is understandable at 2 or 3 in the morning if there's an amp being played. But immediately when the guards came up and asked them to stop using the amp, they stopped using the amp. And then they went off. Obviously, the guards changed their mind and came back and told them that they couldn't play guitar. And even then, if you actually look at the video, when the arrests were made, they had stopped playing music, so they were complying with the guards in the first place. And that's another thing that's really being overlooked, is the guys were actually completely complying with everything that the guards had asked them to do. And the fact that the following day they were arrested again, and this time with their equipment was just left out in the public for people to come and rob, and they were brought off to 2 separate Garda stations and told to walk home, and they weren't charged with anything. It's an absolute abuse of power from members of Garda Síochána, most of them from Pearse Street, who I'm familiar with from different...
Okay, so you think that they completely overreacted. Sandra, you're on FM104. How are you, Sandra?
Hiya.
Now, Sandra...
I'm a little bit angry.
You're a little bit angry. Go on, fire ahead.
I watched the video when you put it on the Facebook. I watched the video, and I'm sorry to say, but I would put all the blame on the buskers. The guards were just doing their jobs. They went and told them to turn off the amp. So, okay, they turned off the amp. But if you look at the video, they were told to move, and they didn't. They sat there, and they were inciting the crowd. By not doing what the guards were asking them to do, to move and disperse, they were inciting the crowd.
Why should we have to move when no law was...
The guard obviously thought that there was going to be too much of an aggro there, that it might broke up, and this is what they're trained to do. This is what they are trained to do. They are trained to make that assumption based on what they have years of experience at it, and you just totally disregarded it and you totally disrespected them, and I think you deserved it. You got what you deserved.
Okay, years of experience. The guard with the baton was a trainee guard. As far as I'm aware now, you can check for yourself on the video, but it had GR on the shoulder, which I'm under the belief that is a trainee guard, and I was told, don't know how true it is, but that they only got 2 weeks training. Like, you give him that right after 2 weeks training, start pulling out bats on people like that. He wasn't even a full-time guard.
And what you're saying, Sandra, is you think that the Gardaí were dead right because you believe that the lads didn't comply with what they were told.
Exactly. And then on top of all that, they were bloody calling them names.
We complied with everything.
Which one of you just kept calling them dirty filth?
That was me, and I
Yeah,
apologise, and I know.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's no apology for that. In the middle of a situation like that, you're only escalating it. You're
I'm
only
not
heightening the
escalating anything.
situation.
I'm recording.
You were escalating the situation by and then other people started calling them names, and then you had the stupid idiot going, "Oh, here, leave it out."
There was no law broken.
And then some fella went and ran away.
They should not have interfered. There was no law being broken. They should not have
Let
interfered.
me ask you this, Justin. Somebody just sent me this on Twitter, and it says the earlier public order offence might have been to do with the noise and the amps. They might have been told to unplug it, and then when the Gardai left, plugged it back in again. Did you plug back in your amp after you were told to turn it off?
No, the amp was off. The amp was done and dusted.
The amp was completely finished.
The amp was done and dusted, and the whole crowd was singing. Because I remember, because my throat, I was howling.
And as well, because we know how because we love busking and we want to be able to come out the next night and peacefully do what we do. So if the Garda asks us to do something, we comply because we want to do it again the next night. We don't want to be known as...
You obviously didn't comply this night.
We did.
You might have complied with the first two things they asked. They asked you to turn off the amp, and okay, so fair play to you, turned off the amp. But then the guards then still assessing the situation, figured this isn't going to work. There might be some violence or whatever, and they asked you.
Now you could argue, Simon.
Yeah.
When you hear, and I'll just play the audio again for people to hear it, okay? That crowd were hostile to the Gardai, okay?
They were booing because they broke up a harmless...
Okay, but you could argue that sort of atmosphere was exactly what the guards were trying to prevent.
They created it. That atmosphere wouldn't have been if they weren't there trying to
their job. If they weren't there doing their job, they were doing their job.
They were not.
They were. They're there to make sure nothing like that happens. And you just continued on and then ran away and started calling them names. I'm surprised you weren't arrested properly.
No, there was no law being broken. They were trying to enforce the law that wasn't being broken.
Fair enough if they were doing their job. Why are they doing it?
They caused what conspired on that tape. If we were breaking noise pollution, where's the decibel levels? They have to give us decibel levels to prove that
I'm not on about noise pollution. I'm saying that this crowd, obviously the guards made the assumption that this crowd could turn riotous, and they asked you to turn off the amp, so you did. They then decided that maybe it's not going to, by you still singing, it's still going to start, so they asked you to stop. And when they asked you to stop, that's when you dug your heels in.
They can't.
And you incited the crowd. By your failure, if you had just said, yes, guard, no problem, and got up and packed your stuff away, this would not have happened. The crowd would have dispersed. You put the guards in a situation where you were inciting an almost riotous crowd.
It's arguable that morally, yes, we should have got up and done it and then asked questions, but legally, we were well within our right to ask.
You see, Sandra, here's the question that strikes me from this whole thing. Have we, as citizens, any right to question a guard, or do we just have to say yes or no, sir, 3 bags full, sir?
Well, you see, I can't answer that because it would depend on the situation, but on the situation that we're speaking about now, they had a right to do what the guards asked them to do, and they didn't.
And we had the right to do what we were doing. We had every right to say that you were arguing that they had their right. We had our rights.
So what was the past about maybe walking away and saying, yes, sir, yes, guard, I'm going to stop singing now, and then one of you walk over a few minutes later and talk to the guard and say, listen, can you tell me why you asked us to stop so we know so it won't happen the next time?
Had the guard approached us and said, lads, we're going to wrap it up there and finish it up. We were in mid-song, a whole crowd singing, and they walked into the middle of us and started just separating us, and the whole crowd instantaneously were like, what's going on? You can hear those tourists in the back saying, what? The music is stopped? They're in shock.
All right, stay there, both of you, for 1 second. Fiona, you're on FM104. How are you, Fiona?
Hiya.
You believe that the guards were completely wrong, do you?
Yeah, I think it was absolutely disgusting behaviour what they did.
Now, you've heard what Sandra was saying, that the guards were just doing their job.
I don't believe that now, because I go into Temple Bar all the time and I see buskers all the time, and they're there and they mind their business and they're trying to make an earning and giving music to the people, and then guards just come along and think, well, I'm a guard, so I can tell them what to do, and they can't. And it was disgusting on what they did. It was horrible. They had no right at all what they did.
They had every right. It was their job.
It's not their job. Who says it's their job to turn around?
It's their job to keep the peace.
To make their living.
It is their job to keep the peace. And if they feel that a busking crowd might be start a riotous crowd, they are within their remit as their job to deal with it.
But
in any way they can. They were dealing with it in a respectful manner and in a low-key manner, and these people just made sure that it went on YouTube.
Sorry, Simon, say that again?
Video, you would have seen that it wasn't very respectful at all.
No.
It was disgusting.
No, what wasn't respectful was the way these people reacted to the guards doing their job.
They weren't doing their job
anyway.
They have no
Illegal way.
Sorry, Justin, say that again?
I said she's not saying me that the guards have to do their job any way that they can. No, they don't.
No, I said they have to do their job within the remit of their orders.
Yeah, within the law, they have to. They are not above the law. They're there to uphold the law and to enforce the law. They're not above it.
No, they were there to uphold the law, and as I said, their job is to assess the situation. If they think a crowd is might be a bit righteous or cause a public offence, is what I believe they were citing it. Their job is to stop it before it starts.
Well, honestly, do you
by asking you to stop, they were trying to stop it before it starts, and you then dug your heels in and incited it, and within 2 seconds you had it on YouTube.
So do you think I deserved what happened to me for that? Do you honestly feel that I deserved the treatment that I got on that night? No matter what the situation.
They weren't doing what they asked you to do.
And let me just come back to what happened on Saturday, lads. Yeah. On Saturday, and this isn't on video, you were all arrested again on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Can I quickly just run through what happened on Saturday?
Yeah.
There's a video up on YouTube, right? It's called Gardai intimidating, right? We were busking and not a Mariah van, but a van came down and parked right in front of us. Now, whenever a dustbin or a road sweep comes by, we make sure to tell everybody get on the path. We slide all our gear onto the curb, and we let every car, van, truck drive by that corner, no bother. Right? So a Mariah van came down and stood or parked right in front of us for about a minute, right in front of us, dispersing the crowd back. And so we're busking the Mariah van and the crowd and then they wait there for a minute and then they drive off. Not a single word said, right? We have photos on a photo book album on Facebook that has, there's loads of photos of Gardai in the background and there's photos of them posing with fellas and all, you know. Not a thing was said all night on Saturday. The three of us are busking. We see a Mariah van or up by Eamon Doran's, and it's reversing down, and they wait there for about 15 minutes, right? So we know what's going on. So we were looking like, right, get the cameras out. They're here for us, like. So they reverse slowly down to us, yeah. Two of them approach me. One of them grabs my arm and begins walking me to the van. I had to put the mic down. They didn't say a word to me. They didn't caution me. They didn't read me my rights. They led me over to the van. And as I was, what's this for? I was asking them questions. What is this for? And they would not respond to me. So when they came in to try and put me into the van, I did get a bit resistant, yeah? So I'm charged with resist of arrest because they grabbed me with no word, no caution, no nothing, you know?
And on Saturday, was there a big crowd around you? In other words, you obviously at this stage believe the guards are just out for you now, do you?
They are, because of the video. Because of the video, they made
so are you planning to go back into Temple Bar and Busk this weekend?
On Friday to make the money up for the equipment that the Gardai lost for us. Friday, 9 o'clock. I'd love everyone to be there and show that.
Great advertising, isn't it?
No, you see, my worry is, lads, if you're asking a big crowd to turn up, then that will be quashed. That will be stopped.
We're three young fellas.
We're working alongside the council as well. Look, I'm going to get in through the council and make sure that we're well within our right. We're not breaking any laws, regulations, or voluntary deals with the council whatsoever. And I'm going to make sure I have all the proper documentation and all the laws copied, printed. And if the guards do approach in a respectful manner, I'll be handing them and telling them, lads, have a quick read of that, come back to me. You know what I mean?
And I bet it'll all be videoed and put back up on YouTube.
If the guards feel like doing it again, yeah, it will be videoed because it's intolerable. It shouldn't happen like that.
There's a lot of comments on the YouTube video saying about what is he doing recording that. No, he's dead. The guards shouldn't be recorded while on duty. We're recorded from the second we step into town. to the second we leave. Without our permission, we're recorded all the time, CCTV all around town. They're allowed to record us. They're our servants. They're our public servants. We can record them while they're carrying
Well, no, I have to be honest, Simon. I'm amazed you weren't arrested on Friday night. I have to be honest with you.
Well, I after watching it back a few times and reading a few comments, I do agree with that, and I know I kind of lost me cool in the moment. But however.
Okay, now one last call. Sandra, Tricia, you're on FM104. How are you, Tricia?
How are you? I'd just like to have a question for that girl, Sandra. I don't know what video she was watching, but them guys broke no law. They don't ask people to stop and listen to them. There was kids there dancing and just singing along. There wasn't one drink in any of their hands, and they were entertaining people, and it was bully boy tactics by the guards. Absolutely horrific. It was barbaric what the guards done to them. There was an elderly gentleman followed them and said to the guards, don't be hitting them, because he did hit them. And I'd say to the lads, you're providing a service for the youth in Temple Bar. You're entertaining.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you.
Tricia, this is, and I tell you, I'll be in there at 9 o'clock on Friday to support it.
There you go. Great advertisement for you, boys.
Sandra, you get the job going home and knitting yourself a cardigan.
And I never ever said that the fellas broke the law. What I said was, if they'd have done what the guards asked, if we had happened, doing what they asked, then they broke the law. And
if we don't break a law, the Garda aren't allowed to ask. If we don't break a law, what are the Garda asking us to do? We haven't broken any law.
They're asking you politely to move on so that a riot is carried up and you dig your heel in. And then you cause...
You're totally wrong there, and you're saying to prevent riots. The guards could have paused the riot there by trying to disperse them.
No, they couldn't have, because the fellas there were inciting them by resisting, by not doing what they were asked.
You must be in the Garda force, and I tell you what, the Garda ombudsman should be on to them guards.
The fact of the matter is, Sandra, that you believe that the guards were well within their rights to move these lads on.
If the guards felt that by them being there was too big of a crowd being around, and that it could have started some sort of a fight amongst the crowd, yes, they were within their right, and these guards are trained to assess that situation.
Okay, now lads, can I just say to you, I know you mentioned that you're going to be there on Friday night. I actually think if you ever want to busk in Temple Bar again, you're going the wrong way about it by publicising that you're going to be there on Friday night. I think that's something that might backfire big time on you. Now, I know what you said, Justin, you're going to get all the paperwork and make sure you're doing it within the law. I wouldn't be going out of my way, though, to be trying to gather a crowd, because the guards will move you on, because they can't cope with a large crowd in Temple Bar. It's too confined an area.
Well, look, what right have they got to move us on? We have a right of assembly, like which within the Constitution, it's within the human right, the right to assemble.
Well, all I'll say is, listening to, again, I'm not defending the guards, listening to what you said about what happened on Saturday, you mightn't even get to sit down on next Friday.
And if that's the case, let it be, and then we'll plead against it when they bring us to court. Like
on Garda Síochána on Saturday acted hugely outside the law. We have always busked inside within the law, within what we're allowed to do. On Saturday, they acted far outside the law with the way they treated us. It was an operation, get the three lads off the street, save the embarrassment of a second video, and in doing so, they broke so many procedures, they broke laws in what they...
Okay, so you're not in the slightest bit concerned about letting people know you'll be in Temple Bar from 9 o'clock this Friday?
No, we have rights as people, you know what I mean? And we lost all our gear, all our stuff is gone. Up to all the takings from that Saturday night, which was a few quid, is gone. All our equipment, all Justin's belongings in his bag, all gone due to the Garda acting unlawfully. We were kidnapped on Saturday night. We were kidnapped.
Oh, give me a break. Kidnap me, beeswax.
We were kidnapped. We were taken off the street by strangers.
Go on, play fiddle. Play fiddle, love.
Right, we were brought out to Irishtown.
No one else was playing it for you.
be quiet. Sorry, we were brought out to Irish Town, and I was asking, why are you bringing us so far out? Would you not like bring us to Pearse Street, Kevin Street? And he says, oh, all the sales are full in Kevin Street, in the city centre. So I asked myself, if all the sales are full in the city centre, it's a busy night, Saturday night town is hopping, you're bringing us outside to fill 3 more sales, even though, like, it's a busy night, all the sales in town are full, yet they're still bothering us.
Well, like I said, lads, I hope there's no further incidents. I hope you're allowed to busk on Friday. But if there is a large crowd, the guards may have to do their job again and disperse a large crowd. That's all I'm saying to you.
In reality, like, nobody can define how many people should be on one street at any time.
Yeah, but you have to be where you're positioned. You have to be able to have a through flow of traffic. Do you know what I mean? If there's a big crowd that's going to obstruct that could cause you grief. But look, I'm going to have to leave it at that, lads. I wish you well. I might just pop in on Friday and have a listen myself.
Thanks very much for the opportunity.
Thanks everyone for supporting us as well.
All right, thanks very much, Justin and Simon from The Untouchables.